Like and subscribe right now, or you're gonna have terrible luck for the next week. Generally speaking, most animals are of regular size. Of course, some animals may be large for their sizes, but they are never so large that you simply can't believe their size, right? And today, we'll blow you away with stories of animals that are so large that you may mistake them for members of another species. Number 10. The largest fish. A fish that can reach lengths of about 60 feet long. Yes, 60 feet. That's about the length of 3 school buses. Imagine a fisherman catching just one of these giant fish. His net would definitely snap. These colossal beings weigh up to about 20.6 tons and are as heavy as 2 school buses. Like most fish, this 60-foot-long creature is not dangerous to human beings. If you meet them while on a swim, they'll most certainly not disturb you. You may even fancy a swim with them if you like. So where do these huge lumbering giants live? Well, you'll find them aplenty in the Atlantic Ocean and the Indo-Pacific. Next time you're deep diving, perhaps you should look out for them. Sadly, you may not find many of them around anymore. They're often caught by fisheries, tangled in nets as bycatch, or struck by marine vessels. The IUCN lists the fish as endangered. Number 9. The world's longest snake. The longest snake ever grew up to a frankly impossible length of 26.3 feet. The snake was a reticulated python, and it was captured at a Malaysia construction site. Sadly, it died just 3 days after being found. The snake was longer than 5 grand pianos, 3 of the tallest men in history lined up, and was almost as tall as a giraffe standing on the head of another giraffe. The snake was longer than the previous record holder of the longest snake in the world, a python named Medusa. Number 8. The largest lizard. There's an animal called the Komodo dragon, and it weighs about 200 pounds. You may think, well, that's a little too light for a dragon, and you'd be only partially right. The Komodo dragon may go by the name dragon, but it's not really a dragon. It's a lizard instead. And yes, it weighs 200 pounds. The Komodo dragon is the world's biggest lizard, and it can measure up to 10 feet long. Female dragons are a bit smaller though, and may only reach a measly 6 feet in length. They only weigh up to about 120 pounds as well. Unlike other lizards that are generally harmless, the Komodo dragon is very harmful. It has a keen sense of smell and vision, and this helps it hunt a variety of big game such as deer to water buffalo and even human beings. They also have a toxic bite due to bacteria, so that's fun too. Number 7. The largest frog. You've probably not seen a frog that's up to a foot tall or long. Most frogs are tiny affairs, and some even get as small as 2 inches. But not all frogs are like that. Some frogs are so large that they're literally called Goliath frogs. And if there's one thing we know about Goliath, it's this: he's super huge. So exactly how large are these frogs? Well, the frog grows up to about 12.5 inches and can weigh up to 7 pounds. This means that it's precisely the size of some house cats. Imagine that! Amazingly, this frog doesn't start quite as big. In fact, the Goliath frog tadpole is just about the same size as the tadpoles of regular frogs. But at some point, the Goliath frog explodes and grows to become extremely large. These giant frogs have been around for longer than us Homo sapiens have been alive, and yet we know almost nothing about them. For one, how long do they live? How big can they really grow to? Why do they grow so big? Hopefully, we'll find out soon enough. Number 6. The largest arthropods in the world. If you had no idea, arthropods are spiders, insects, and all other invertebrates with hard exteriors. These animals make up one of the largest groups of animals on Earth, but they're generally not large. Most insects can be killed with the swat of the hand. Many times you don't even notice they're there. That's how small they are. That's why it's frankly unbelievable to imagine that there are arthropods that end up being bigger than you could imagine. The largest arthropod living is the Japanese spider crab, also called the Macrocaria campheri. Weird name, you know. This spider crab can have a leg span that reaches about 12.5 feet. Yes. Imagine such a huge crab walking rapidly towards you. You'd almost certainly lose your mind. If you ever see one of these things in your home, the smart thing would be to leave immediately and call pest control. Number 5. Largest living land carnivores. The scariest animals on Earth are all carnivorous animals. The lions, jaguars, wolves, tigers, and cheetahs all have one thing in common. They absolutely love eating meat. And not just that, they love killing their prey too. That's what makes them so scary and dangerous. But despite their size, these famous killers aren't the biggest living land carnivores. That honor goes to something else. And what's that something else? The majestic brown bear, of course. The bear weighs a whopping 2,000 pounds. That's like the size of 4 extremely overweight human beings put together. You probably may have seen the brown bear, but till you're standing next to one, you'll never truly appreciate the size of these behemoths. When standing upright, these bears can reach an astonishing height of 10 feet. That's about 4 feet more than your average human height. To put it simply, that's just ridiculous. If you want to find these huge monsters, all you need to do is journey the forests of North America, Asia, and Europe. We wouldn't advise it though. Brown bears are known to be extremely violent and are perfectly capable of tearing you apart. Fun fact, they're not solely carnivores. They're actually omnivores, which means, like you and me, they eat pretty much anything. Number 4. The largest cow. Trigger the Frisian is the example to this rule. When Trigger was just a baby, he was destined to be killed, but a neighbor stepped in and the cow's life was spared. Now it's grown to be 6 foot 5 inches tall, which is a whole foot more than the average height of cows. Despite weighing about 1.2 tons and having a length of near 14 feet from nose to tail, Trigger continues to grow. This huge size means that Trigger could potentially make over 7,000 Big Macs. Yep, 7,000. Crazy, isn't it? Number 3. The tallest animal on Earth. Okay, we agree this one may be somewhat obvious. The giraffe is obviously the tallest animal on the planet. It's very difficult to argue against that, as no animal even comes close. When it comes to height, the giraffe has everything on lockdown. But how tall is the giraffe? Well, the answer is very. The giraffe can reach up to heights of about 19 feet. The neck of this animal alone is about 6 feet. That means the giraffe's neck alone is way taller than you. But why is the giraffe this tall? Is it a mistake of evolution or just a result of random mutation? Well, the answer is rather straightforward. Simply put, giraffes evolved to become extremely tall. They had to eat leaves that were at the top of tall trees and needed tall necks to get there. So they adapted and developed pretty long necks. You can be sure that once giraffes no longer have to eat leaves from the tops of trees, they'll become shorter. Or at least that's what we think. Fun fact about giraffes is that they actually only have 7 vertebrae in their neck, just like us humans.
Now it's time for today's best pick.
Our best picture for today was sent in by a subscriber. If you come across a picture online and want to know more about it, you can send it in to us. Who knows, your picture might even feature in a future video. Number 2. The largest living land animal. The largest living land animal is, without a shred of doubt, the elephant. The African elephant can typically grow up to 7 tons and can often measure about 35 feet from trunk to tail. They also have a shoulder height of about 13 feet. If the elephant were a carnivorous animal, it would have been the terror of the earth. The Homo sapiens may not have been able to leave Africa because they would have been hunted to extinction by the elephant. Thankfully, the elephant prefers to munch on grass, so we're relatively safe from any bloodthirsty raids led by an elephant. Sadly, these gentle giants are currently cited as vulnerable in the IUCN Red List of threatened species.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works.
Number 1. The blue whale. What would a list like this be without the largest animal to have ever lived? And what's the name of that animal? It's the blue whale, of course. The blue is, simply put, the largest animal ever. Not the largest animal alive today. The whale is the largest animal to have ever existed. It weighs about 198 tons and can reach a length of about 98 feet. No animal on Earth even comes close to the blue whale in sheer size. It's far ahead of any other animal on the planet. And strangely, the blue whale isn't particularly dangerous to human beings. It doesn't even eat large animals, as its diet is mostly made of krill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons. Have you done that? Great! Goodbye, and remember to stay safe.